Pointe Courte opens with a handheld shot walking down an alley, with the camera moving somewhat like a person strolling through the neighborhood. It's as if the audience were visiting the village, taking a peek into the lives of some of its inhabitants. This feeling of watching everyday life persists through large sections of the film, something that inspired critics to compare Pointe Courte to Italian Neo-Realism when it was released. This despite Agnès Varda not having seen any neo-realist films before she made hers.
J'avais vu peut-être 9 ou 10 films jusqu'à 25 ans.
Still, we have location shooting, natural light, a cast of mostly non-actors.
J'ai fait le passage quand la barque arrive et qu'on débarque le coquillage, qui est un petit garçon qui arrive.
And a focus on working-class people, all hallmarks of neo-realist style, intentional or not. However, Pointe Courte doesn't fully conform to a neo-realist aesthetic. Varda purposefully constructed stylistic and thematic contrasts with the narrative.
Je semblais préparer un documentaire, mais une partie du film concernait un couple.
For every realist section that is centered on everyday working life, there is a more formalist section focusing on a Parisian bourgeois couple working through their relationship issues. The sections on the couple remind me somewhat of Bergman's film Persona, though Pointe Courte predates Bergman's film by around 10 years. The segments feature the couple assuming an almost impressionist tone, with Brechtian performances and mise-en-scène that externalizes their interpersonal tensions. Agnès Varda grew up near Pointe Courte, and she conceived the film while taking a trip back there in her 20s. At that time, Varda had trained as a photographer, and the photos she took of the village formed the visual foundation for her film.
Et ceux de la Pointe Courte où j'aimais traîner. Je prenais des photos. Je découvrais ce quartier particulier. J'écoutais les histoires des uns et des autres, surtout des vieux. Je voulais en faire quelque chose, un film.
While watching Pointe Courte, I can't help but notice several shots that capture the drama of black and white still photography, with contrasts of form and light, especially in segments featuring the Parisian couple. Varda claims that her inspiration for the contrasting narratives, the neo-realist villagers versus the formalist couple, came from a William Faulkner novel.
J'avais en tête une structure de film particulière, un projet de 2 films mêlés, en chapitres alternés, comme dans un roman de Faulkner que j'avais lu qui m'avait impressionné, Les Palmiers sauvages. Alors ce serait une séquence de pêcheurs, une séquence de couple. 2 récits sans point commun, sinon un lieu commun, la Pointe Courte.
The two sides of Pointe Courte, the neo-realist and the formalist, in some ways represent 2 dimensions of Varda's career. On the one hand, Varda has consistently demonstrated an interest in the lives of people around her.
Et pourtant, ce sont les autres qui m'intéressent vraiment et que j'aime filmer.
Something evidenced in both her documentaries and her fiction films. On the other hand, she has a strong foundation in photography and art history, and this aesthetic sensibility infuses her work, whether through direct references.
Et les femmes de Piero de la Francesca m'ont amené à Sylvia Montfort pour faire couple avec Philippe Noiret, qui a des faux airs de Philippe le Bon.
Or through the incorporation of aesthetic abstractions. In this way, Pointe Courte, as Varda's first film, provides an excellent introduction to the themes contained throughout her filmography. Varda was fundamentally curious about people, embracing humanity through a keen aesthetic eye. I'm Laura Ivins. Thank you for watching.